Come on in, come on in. Welcome. Hey, grab yourself a cup of coffee. Have a seat across my desk here. It's my office. Welcome. Hey, I was going to tell you. I want to tell you about the top five ways, the top five thinking patterns of a CIA master spy. I've actually just read The Ghost, which is the Secret Life of CIA Spy Master James Angleton, among many other. So this is a book by Jefferson Morley. Excellent book. I recommend it. Thought patterns of a master spy. James Angleton was a shady character. He was a CIA director at one point, and a few takeaways on his thought patterns. Number 5: raw information was acquired, recorded, and indexed and analyzed. By the way, if you notice, I'm working from some notes here. This is actually an index I made of the book. It's an 8-page index. Now, this is a personal index. It's just points that I found relevant in the book for my own interest. So it's 8 pages long, typed. Now, why don't I just go and use the index in the back of the book? Well, it's not relevant really to what I'm doing. It's very unuseful to me. And so, I just create my own index. I do this for dozens of books. I do this all the time in all kinds of different books. Create my own indexes. And it's a lot of work, to be honest with you, but for me, in some cases, it's I don't remember everything I read. So it gives me a tool to go back and do it. But Angleton, everything was acquired, recorded, indexed, and analyzed. And a 201 file, this is the way his thought patterns is, how does he think about people he hears about? A 201 file should be opened anytime. They call it the 3-document rule. Anytime the CIA got 3 reports on a person, a file needed to be opened on that person. They needed to watch that person and get more information on him, because evidently they were doing things, and things were happening, and they need to keep an eye on them. So that's rule number 5. Rule number 5 for how a master spy thinks. Number 4. This comes from page 72 of Morley's book. It says, Angleton established an office for research. He established an office just for research. He wanted to compile a body of knowledge about Soviet intelligence operations with files on history, techniques, and personnel. So this guy takes research he takes it very seriously. And he wanted to compile knowledge about Soviet intelligence operations. He's basically the enemy. It's whatever's relevant to what his purpose is, with files on history, techniques, and personnel. So he wants to know everything about his enemy. This is relevant to a business owner. They want to know about the competition. It's relevant to a salesperson. He wants to know how to respond to people, and he needs to know people skills. So he's going to need to know all about that. He's going to need to do some research. And so that's rule number 4 about how a master spy thinks. Rule number 3. He became an uncanny... Let me skip to rule. I'll do a different one. Rule number 3. The motto of Decima Moss was key. Decima Moss. Momento. Ardere semper. Always to dare. Remember, always to dare. So that's his thought pattern. He wasn't just a bookworm who spent all his time researching. He had an action personality. This was a bold and audacious personality. Action and research went together. So he would get information and he would act on it. So my own Chuck Brandt thrillers, I write spy espionage books, and they're action thriller books. So this one it's dear to my heart. I appreciate it because obviously they're heavily focused on this one idea. Always remember to dare. Okay. Next point. He had an uncanny understanding of how people thought. Perhaps the most important skill of a counterintelligence officer. So you have to understand people. You have to know people in order to anticipate people. And so you have to have a deep knowledge of psychology and people skills in order to be an effective counterintelligence agent. So that was very important to Angleton. And the last point, number one reason, or the number one pattern of thought of how a master spy thinks. This is a quote from the book, coming from I don't have the page number here, but it comes from the Secret Life. Well, The Ghost by Jefferson Morley. It's a biography of James Angleton, former CIA director, known as a shady character. Here's the quote. He was asked, why offer me the job? We both know that you hate me. This is someone who Angleton is hiring for an important job. And the guy goes, why offer me a job? We both know that you hate me. Angleton says, that's just the reason. No one would ever suspect it. So he doesn't want to be predictable. He wants to do the unexpected. And that's an important strategy to keep in mind. So obviously I'm not hitting on everything here. These are the top 5 points. And hopefully these are some useful nuggets that I left out some of the nasty stuff because honestly, we shouldn't, there's some things that we probably shouldn't, that really aren't going to be helpful to most decent people. So we don't include everything. There you go. There's the top 5 patterns of the thinking patterns of a master spy. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Hit that like button. If you like this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. Be honored and thrilled to have you as a new subscriber. And thanks for watching. Fight on.